What's up, my friends? Today, a couple of updates and a new topic that I wanted to discuss with you. Hutch, come on. Hutch, where's Zar? Where's Zar? Here you are. All right, so today what I wanted to talk about is, come this way, is these guys, my carnivorous companions, as I call them. Zulu and Zar and Aziza, she's inside, I believe. She's actually enjoying some food right now. Come on, don't pee on my garbage can. Oh, come on, buddy. Anyway, so the concept of today's video is how much to feed and what. To be honest, it's very simple. Just think of it this way. They are carnivores, predators, and on that notion, the system of feeding is very much modeled on that same exact notion. Carnivores or predators don't always succeed in sourcing their food, hunting down the prey. Oftentimes, chance or risk an injury, slowing them down and everything else, not to mention the environment ever so changing around here, around us, and greatly influenced by us as well. So the predator doesn't always eat or goes to sleep hungry. He literally has to earn every single meal, unlike the herbivore, which just goes out and starts grazing because the grass has no choice but to grow and stay put. The hunter has to hunt and has to be successful at that. Otherwise, it goes hungry. So, same thing goes for these guys. The comfort of knowing that you could reach into the freezer, grab the frozen block of his raw food, and feed it to him daily is wonderful. You're doing the best thing possible, but at the same time, you have to do what's best by them, by the nature's design. Therefore, the feeding has to be somewhat sporadic, you might want to say. Come here. Come here, bud. We're talking about you. Hutch. He's a very stubborn guy, I tell you. Super alpha. Especially now that he's trying to show off to this dude. Anyway, he's pushing boundaries. Come on. No, he's not going. He's waiting for you. So the whole concept of basically feeding carnivore the way he's designed to eat is exactly what this raw feeding, wall feeding is about. Think of it this way. He has to hunt down his food, first find it, then hunt it down, and then devour it, and hopefully without competition. So for being, you know, in comparison to the very comforting and comfortable and complacent life among humans, kind of works against them. I mean, it often leads to obesity or, you know, overweight, and also loses the interest. The dog loses the interest in the food, and then you find yourself, you know, fumbling what diet and what food and how and why and all that, instead of just simply letting the dog starve a little bit. That's all it takes. Now, it sounds kind of cruel, mean, whatever you want to say it, but it's necessary for so many reasons. Number one, number one being, the dog has to empty out ever so often in order to fill up again, because they eat to the full, fill up, and then they empty out. That's how they hunt, that's how they live. They don't pile on meals at whatever planned frequency, because, well, like I said, the prey escapes, or the dog or predator gets injured and doesn't eat that day, or a day or two, or sometimes a week. So the concept again is to mimic that, to simply illustrate or provide the best nutrition at the best rate. That's kind of number one. So definitely giving them a day off food per week, like say 6 meals per 6 days of feeding per week, and then 1 day of absolutely no food, is absolute necessity. Another thing, number two, one of the very important, you know, things in predatory feeding, raw feeding, is obviously the quality of food. You can't just throw whatever is raw in front of them and expect that this is gonna work. Like buy 3 pounds of ground beef and figure, oh, that should feed them for about a week. It is meat, it is fat, it is protein, but it's lacking a whole lot of nutrients, elements, and things, building blocks that the dog or carnivore needs. And that includes organ, that includes tendons, that includes bone. All those things that you and I will find very uninteresting are necessary or preferred by these guys. They simply know they can get the protein, but they need building elements to replenish or establish the perfectly homeostasis, you know, that his body is basically constructed of. And you know, with him being the more active herd, the animal being more active and sort of earning his meal, it comes a great deal of respect of where the meal comes from, who's the provider, therefore giving you an opportunity to place yourself at the top in your pack, become real true alpha. Even though your dog may be your dog may be, you know, complacent and happy and everything else, he still has to follow, you know, the human rules. As an animal, as a human animal especially, choosing to live among people, they do confirm the human activities and human habits and all of that, including omnivoristic tendencies, which is eating just about anything that falls on the floor. Whether it's good for you or not, just like our kids will eat whatever tastes better than, you know, it's better for you. So you can't judge it by that. You simply have to provide what they need before what they would like. All right, I gotta find these guys real quick. Hang on. My dogs spotted a big snapping turtle. He's leaving our pond. I think he's heading over to my neighbor's pond. Leave him alone, Z. He'll chomp your head off. Oh, he's all green. He's not that big. Last time I seen one that was huge, probably twice as big. Monster turtle. What up, Mr. Turtle? There was one in our driveway last time. Pretty cool, huh? Where you headed? Where you headed, Mr. Turtle? Are you going to the neighbor's pond? Yeah? Alright, we're gonna leave Mr. Turtle alone. Let's see if he'll defend himself. He'll try to beat the camera. He is just delicious looking, huh? Step back, ZZ. Hutch. It's okay. Leave Mr. Turtle alone. Alright, well, he just left the pond, our pond, and I think he's headed over to my neighbor's pond. Okay, Hutch. Come on, ZZ. Let's go. Leave him alone. Alright, so, like I said, the idea is to basically provide and sustain an environment for your dog that is the most appropriate. So yeah, not sure how this is gonna come out, but the sunlight and everything else. But I basically wanted to invite you on this quick journey into the, let's just say, very important part of our lives. An occupation, a lifestyle that we choose by keeping animals, whether they're piranha or cats, or dogs of all shapes and sizes. They have needs that need to be satisfied before we get ours satisfied, which is, you know, the cuddles and all the kisses and this to the death, you know, companionship, loyal friendship that you'll get when your pup, your, you know, dog, cat is happy and content with you. Otherwise it just wants to run away. Anyway, this is kind of the topic of today's video. I thank you so much for coming. For those of you that are new here, my name is Marek. Everyone calls me Bear or Bearski, and this is my channel. What I often, you know, and talk about all sorts of animal stuff, and obviously our piranha tanks, piranha sanctuary now that I call it, has been growing quite quickly, and a big project on the way. So anyway, I'll see you on the next one, my friends. Thanks.